Good morning, everyone. My name is Adwoa. I am from SANBI in the Freshwater Biodiversity program. And we just thought it would be good to just come and give an update on SANBI's activities. There have been some changes in the structure of the Freshwater Biodiversity unit and kind of who's working on what. So we thought it would be good to just use this session to provide that feedback to the Gauteng Wetland Forum. So just go over kind of who we are, how the National Wetland Map coordination has just shifted, some of the projects that we're currently working on, as well as what we do as the freshwater program as a whole. So in terms of the team, most of you already know Nancy Job, who's our senior scientist and lead of the freshwater program. Similarly, most of you know Namhla, who's also in the meeting today. It was going to be a combined presentation, but unfortunately there's some construction where Namhla currently is. So we just had to change things a little bit. But Namhla, who was previously working on the National Wetland Map, now has a focus on citizen science and EIA projects. And then myself at the bottom there, Adwoa, although it's, as you look at the spelling, it might not be how you want to say it, but it's pronounced Adwoa. I'm working on the National Wetland Map and inventory related projects. So in terms of the Freshwater Biodiversity Program, in SANBI, we're part of the Research Assessment and Monitoring Division. And then we've just put a few of, points of what our mandate is and what it is that we work on. So, being a part of SANBI, I'm just convening, coordinating and facilitating research guidance in the community, the practice of freshwater. We also report on the state of freshwater biodiversity. This is, people are more familiar with this and the work contributing towards the National Biodiversity Assessments, as well as in FEPA projects, so National Freshwater Ecosystems Priority Areas. We also have a continued focus on building National Freshwater Biodiversity foundational data, so that one of those, being our National Wetland Map projects. So just on activities for the National Wetland Map, just a thing to get everyone up to date and on the same page. So SANBI, as of 2019, were appointed as the base dataset coordinators of the wetlands base dataset, which basically means that the National Wetland Map has now been recognized as a nationally important map for planning and reporting purposes. And so, it has set custodians and, a coordinator who are now officially in charge of, making sure that data sets is provided, is continually updated. And so, we've taken a few steps over the last 2 years just to, make sure that we are fulfilling that function, and we're still kind of learning and growing at this. So in terms of what we're currently working on in terms of the National Wetland Map now, we've put together a structured, system and setup for the National Wetland Map that allows us to do kind of catchment by catchment updates of the National Wetland Map, as well as keep track of contributors, so that, in this coming National Wetland Map 6, as well as the next one and moving forward, we are able to acknowledge and, maintain that source information of, let's say, for example, this one wetland was assessed and mapped by Gani Marinovic and team, and be able to produce that within the National Wetland Map, so we can have that source data link. So that, even here moving forward, as we try and work with different members of the Wetland Forum to contribute data, you're able to now see that your data is acknowledged. We are collaborating with Nassau Collins, the work that was previously done on wetland probability mapping, which also came through in National Wetland Map 5. We're working together to improve that methodology, and continually include that in the National Wetland Map. There has been a National Wetland Map Provincial and Sand Parks Working Group, which has been formed. We have had 2 meetings, one in July, the second took place in October. It's a meeting of the provincial representatives all within the wetland space, as well as some consultants. So for Gauteng, for example, Gauteng is represented by Happy, by Stephen Feltman, Mark Leroy, as well as Heidi, who led the work on National Wetland Map 5 from the CSIR. So that's the team that's currently representing Gauteng in the National Wetland Map Working Group. And moving forward, not just working at that level, but also looking forward to working with people within this forum who are undertaking different projects, so that we can uptake that into the National Wetland Map. We have a pilot project with DWS, working with the Northwest Integrated Water Resource Management Committee. Sorry, I should have put that out before. Just on there was a need that was raised that they would like to learn more about wetlands and how to map wetlands. And we thought that was a great opportunity to, conduct and facilitate that learning, as well as actively work on improving the National Wetland Map in those areas. So that's currently undertaking, as well as work with Eastern Cape, which is now kicking off, and looking forward to working with the Wet Health team as we look to update the wetland condition info. For National Wetland Map 6, we are set to release an update in March, so that's this very next month. So the updates that will be in that layer is an update of some attribute fields, the spatial data of depression wetlands, the level 6 classification for some of the peat wetlands, which we've been able to improve, the artificial attributes field in the data set for 4 water management areas in this update, and the remaining will be in the next, as well as some of the updated metadata descriptions. There are some other projects that are working on the unit as a whole. So there are students that are being that are associated with the unit and being supervised by Nancy. There is the National Freshwater Ecosystem Priority Area, so NFIPA in short. NFIPA 2 has been kind of initiated, and meetings have started. So that's also in the works, as well as a GRS funded project that looks at wetlands and water birds, to draw data from that and reporting and managing indicators related to freshwater and wetlands. NAMFLA, as you're all aware of, was also going to present on some updates on FEN and citizen science projects, but we thought, it's as she's not able to speak to that now, I won't jump in there, but both Nancy and NAMFLA would then be able to present at our next meeting more in detail of the projects that they are working on. Here are our contact information, and thank you very much for the time and opportunity.